Hi all, Mark Cormier here. We're 5:30 p.m. Movement Yoga. Welcome everyone. We'll get going in a few minutes. So grab your mat, grab your blocks, grab your strap, whatever you feel you need. And you might not need any of it. All right, here come the students.
Cool shirt.
And we've got Markel Palumbo. This is her space, her equipment. She's a photographer here in San Francisco. And we've got Josephine Cormier, my daughter, and she's
Unemployed here in San Francisco.
she's underemployed, staying at home. So, but we'll get going probably in about 2 minutes, so you guys can relax.
That's awesome. But like, we're ready. We're ready. Well,
So, no.
that was a tight call. Do you want me to do it first?
Nope.
Ready? Sorry.
I guess we need to.
I am ready to do some yoga.
You guys want to focus on specifically.
I think you know best. Something. Yeah. If you're talking about headstand again.
It's controversial.
Oh, right.
You know, a lot of studios don't even teach it.
Can we only look what I like? Okay, for me right now, I can't do the front. We don't have to. Maybe you should just stay.
I think it's a little hot.
Okay,
Air in here.
If you ever need a pick-me-up, go to holeinthe-wall-coffee.com.
It said that caffeine makes you better at working out.
For just a short while, right? And then you go,
Right.
and then you
Okay.
my heart rate's great.
We'll get going in a minute. One of the other things Markel does besides her photography is she works at a coffee shop here in North Beach, Hole in the Wall Coffee. They're open for takeout. So there you go. All right. So it's 7:30. Let's get going. Or sorry, 5:30. Welcome everyone. My name is Mark Cormier. I usually teach at Bay Club FIDI. I teach Bay Club Gateway. I also teach Bay Club Tennis. And while the clubs are closed until phase 2 or phase 3, I'm not quite sure what, we have this video presentations. So a couple of students here, Markel and Josephine. Markel's working without a mat, which is totally cool. Josephine has a mat. So with a mat, we tend to push out to find stability, particularly in our down dog. Without a mat, you have to hug in, and both are good ways to work. So anyway, so coming to the top of your mat or your non-mat, finding your feet, from your feet finding your legs, from your legs finding your spine. Relax shoulders tall through the crown of the head. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A slight tuck of the chin as we start to take our attention inward. And we can start our practice this evening just by watching our breath as it flows in. And as it flows out, arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for an evening yoga practice. Now from this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to find a full body breath, bringing the air to the base of the belly, the top of the chest, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, either keeping the belly soft and relaxed or adding a low belly constriction in and up towards the heart to squeeze a little more air out. Do this deeper, fuller breath. I'll invite you to find the Ujjayi or ocean breath, a slight constriction to the base of the throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath, often compared to the sounds of the waves of the ocean as they flow in and out. And as we flow through our practice tonight, letting the sound of the ocean, this feel of the Ujjayi breath, be a focus for your practice, always coming back to that sound and feel. Now taking the tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth, trying to keep that tongue loop, that Jiva Bandha throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, if you close the eyes, I'll invite you to open the eyes, hands by your side. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling, arms down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling up, just observing the natural rhythm of the shoulders. As the arms elevate, the shoulders elevate. As the arms descend, the shoulders descend. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Half sun salutation, a lot of forward fold and a back bend. Inhaling up. Exhaling, leading with the heart as you fold. Hands find shins as you round the spine. Take a big breath to lift chin and tail as we arch the back. Exhaling, folding and rounding one more time. Inhaling, working with neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum as we hinge on up. On the exhale, hands by our side. 2 more times like this. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Last one like this. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A, with or without vinyasa, yogi's choice. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, grounding down to the hands and either finding your down dog and holding or cycling through chaturanga, yoga push-up. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. And then exhaling back to down dog. As we hold this first down dog of the practice, and I'd like you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply, grounding down to the opposite heel. And then finding that same stretch on the second side. And then freely moving back and forth between the sides, just seeing how it feels tonight, what feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of your breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, standing tall. Second one, just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Either stretching straight back or cycling through a yoga push-up. Inhaling into the back. And then exhaling back. There's lots of ways to work vinyasa. Josephine just did a real nice one where she came forward to plank pose, hold that for a breath or two, and then she can do it up. Vinyasa just means connected breath to connected. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or maybe take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling full. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more and we'll add on. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog. You take your time. Follow your breath. Find your flow. Let's use these. Very creative this afternoon. Awesome.
I'm not gonna do. I told you I'm not doing any push-ups. No, I'm not. I don't do the push-ups.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing?
So now we're going to do an add-on. Super fun, and it's optional. As we inhale forward to plank pose, and then navel to spine as we lift those hips high. Exhale. A couple more times. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing back. Last one here. We'll hold an extra breath. Inhaling forward. Exhaling. Inhaling. And on that next exhale, lifting hips high and holding for another couple of minutes. As we hold down dog, I'd like to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in. And as your Ujjayi breath flows in. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling full. Inhaling, leading with the back of the heart, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing. Surya Namaskar B. It starts with the chair pose. Knees over toes, hands over head. Adding an extra breath as we take it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out. Back to down dog as you will. You can take your time. Find your flow.
I just don't do the push-ups because I have a shoulder thing. Because it hits my shoulder.
And if you do the push-ups, mark out. Elbow shaper. Yes, it's harder. Let's all gather together in our down dog. Flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toe. Now looking between the hands, lifting that leg even higher. And then sweeping that foot on through. Spinning the back heel down, finding your balance, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Second side, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, lifting that leg even higher. And then sweeping that left foot on through. Landing it lightly, spinning the back heel down. Arms sweeping up and over the head once you have your balance. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog. And shoot. As we hold down dog, coming back to an even breath, finding that balance between your effort and your from down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling forward. On the inhale, back to our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, open the heart, open the throat. On the exhale, neutral spine. Let's do one more sun salvi. We'll add a hip opening sequence into the mix. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you go. Deep full breaths. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted legs straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, sweeping that foot on through. Landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down, sweeping the arms up and over the head for our warrior one. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through the hips or stretching straight back. Take your time.
I know, I'm just trying to do the okay.
Oh, you can do. Always feeling free to stay wherever you are. Always feeling free to keep on doing whatever you're doing. When you're ready to find that second side, from down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, sweeping that left foot on through. Spinning the back heel down, back leg long, back leg strong, inhaling up. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog. As you and as we hold down dog, we'll invite you to bring your attention to your hands. Lots of space between each finger. Grounding down between the thumb and the forefinger as you draw the energy up from the floor. Strong shoulders, either keeping the neck relaxed and the head super, super heavy, or long through all sides of the neck as you look back towards your neck. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, hands by our side. I'll allow you to bring hands to heart. A light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet. Relax shoulders, long, smooth, deep, rich, and full in the breath. From here, hands find the hips as we step or jump our feet. On the inhale, I'll invite you to bring your hands to one side. On the exhale, bending the knees as we pass the hands through center. On the inhale, finding that other side. And let's do 60 knees, both sides. Inhale. And exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Halfway done. Couple more each way. One more each side. And then back to center. Hands by our side. Let's jump it in thin like a pin. From here, let's move towards an eagle pose. We're going to bring our arms out to the side. We're going to bring right under left, either catching opposite shoulders, hooking the thumbs, or finding the palms. This one. Can you do that?
No.
No? Maybe just across the arms. Yes. From here, we're going to cross right leg over left. If you can hook the foot, maybe go for it. And then we'll start to descend ourselves on down. We're going to start to rise on up. Let's unwind the arms. Let's bring hands to hips as we unwind the legs. Lifting that right thigh high. Without leaning back, we'll go long for that. Lifting that leg even higher. Now we're going to land it in a cross step. Now we're going to soften our knees. We don't want to tug on those hamstrings overly. So pushing the front of the back knee into the back of the front knee as we lower our center of balance. Arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to lift chin and tail, and then folding and holding. As we draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips, relax the neck and heavy the head. As we hold this shape, either holding it in stillness, just seeing what arises, or adding a little micro movement, a little swing, a little sway. Like slowly stirring a sauce or a soup, trying to get the maximum flavor out of your muscles, your bones. Maybe I'm hungry, I don't know.
I'll get there.
From a place of micro movement, if you chose that option, moving coming back to center, and then adding bigger movement as you circle those hips. And yeah, just let it feel good. And then taking those hip circles the other way. And then back to center. From here, let's carefully unwind the legs as we step our front foot back to find low lunge. Everyone looks like we have left foot front, right foot back. Let's do it the same way, the other way. In our low lunge, I'll invite you to spin the back heel down as we bring hands to hips. From here, we can use those hands to set the shoulders, finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high. And then with the breath, I'm going to invite you to straighten the front leg as we gather up the energy. Exhaling as we offer it. Do that a couple more times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. I'm going to invite you to hold this shape as we take a big breath and draw. From here, let's bring hands back to the hips. Let's step that back foot in. Let's spin the back heel up, and we'll move towards warrior three. As we soften the standing leg, we start to lift that back leg up as we pitch our body forward. Either keeping hands on hips or stretching hands towards that back foot. Either staying here, or we can stretch arms out to the side. Maybe we stretch the hands in front, as if we're holding a large glass ball and lifting your face to look through that ball. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Those of you that brought hands away from the hips, we can bring hands back to the hips as we step that back foot down, coming back to our warrior one side. From here, let's bring arms up and over the head as we come back to our warrior one. And then spinning the palms out, coming back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through the knees or stretching. Yeah, take your time. As we hold down dog, another 2 or 3 breaths, I'll invite you to bend your knees ever so slightly as you lift your tailbone just a little bit higher. And then keeping the tailbone right where it is, lengthen through the back of the knees, straightening the legs. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath in. Inhale into that breath, looking between the hands, bending the knees ever so slightly to lift that tailbone even higher. And then keeping that tailbone high, you can walk or jump from it. Awesome, nice. Take a breath to find one. On the exhale, folding and holding. I'm going to invite you to widen your base as we toe heel the feet out. Soft knees as we catch opposite elbows and gently swaying your body from side to side. Now switching the cross of the elbows, keep swaying side to side. And let's come up the safe way here. So we'll come center, we'll release the elbows. I'm going to invite you to bring hands onto the thighs and pushing the hands into the thighs for the assist as we masterfully roll our spines out up. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, 2 hands high in the air as if we're holding a big ball. 3 big full-body breaths, our hands and fingers can mimic our ribs. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then inhaling, hands to heart. And either staying right here or light press of the palms as we let our weight collect in our feet. Or adding an isometric engagement. We press those palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged. And then hands by our side. So on this one, let's jump it in thin like a pin. And then we'll jump about out hip width apart. From here, we're going to inhale the arms out to the side. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees and cross the arms in front. On the inhale out to the side, and then finding that other cross. And let's do 6 of these, both sides. Halfway done. Last 2 each way. 1 more each side. And then back up. Hands by our side. Just jump it back in thin like a pin. Let's prepare for that eagle, that standing eagle on our second side. So arms out to the side, left under right. So a lot of different options. One option might just be across the arms, depending on where your shoulders are. Maybe a hand on each shoulder. Maybe we hook the thumbs. Maybe we hook the palms. From here we can cross left leg in front. And depending if you have a hook, go for it. I don't have a hook on this side, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to lower my center of balance, maybe floating that foot, maybe not. Despite the contortion of the shape, just keeping an easeful quality to your breath. Wherever you took the shape, let an inhale bring you on up. As we unwind our arms, hands find the hips, we can unwind the legs as we lift this left leg high. From here, without leaning back, we can go long. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then we're going to land it in a cross step. And we want to bend the knees a lot here. Back of the, or front of the back knee pushes into the back of the front. From here, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length, just like in the sun cells. And then folding and holding as you relax the neck. And heavy the head as we hold the shape, either working the pose in stillness or adding a little bit of movement. Same when it rises. Now adding bigger movement as you come back to center. I'll allow you to circle those hips. Any of them. Stretching it out. How does it feel tonight? Giving your hips exactly what they want. What they need. And then taking those circles the other way. Coming back to center, carefully unwinding the legs as we step that front foot back to find our little lunge. And our little lunge will allow you to take it just a little bit longer, and then spinning that back heel down as we bring hands onto our hips for warrior one. We can set the shoulders, finding that clasp of the fingers behind the head. You might switch the clasp of the fingers, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. And then with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more to go here, breathing in, breathing out and holding for a big breath into your heart. From here, let's move towards the Warrior 3 balance challenge. As hands come back to the hips. We shift weight onto the front foot to step that back foot back. We can spin the back heel up. And in any amount, we can bend the standing leg. So we start to lift that back foot. Either keeping hands on hips or stretching hands towards that back foot. Maybe stretching arms out to the side for your airplane wings. Maybe stretching those hands in front. And then lifting the face to look through those hands as if you're holding a large glass bowl. Awesome. And wherever you choose to work. Smooth breaths in. Smooth breaths out. That's what makes it yoga. Awesome. Nice. Yeah. Feel free to play around. And then coming down with grace and control as hands come back to the hips. Landing that back foot lightly as we find our warrior one breath. And then arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, spinning the palms out, spinning that back heel up for low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog, as you will. Yeah, take your time, find your breath. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between the hands, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher, and then keeping that tailbone high as you either walk or take a jump to the front of the back. Take a breath, it's your jam, that's right. Exhaling, folding and holding. Widening the feet, soft knees, opposite elbows as we sway from side to side. Switching across of the elbows, keep swaying side to side. Back to center, yogi's choice, either using the thighs for the assist
or lots of core engagement as we masterfully roll ourselves up.
Lifting the chin tall through the crown, 2 hands high in the air as if we're holding a big ball. And 3 big full body breaths, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then I'll invite you to inhale, hands to heart, either keeping a light press to the palms or adding that isometric engagement. You press the palms together. And then hands by our side. Let's jump it in. Thin like a pin. Let's jump it out. Hip width apart. Do some breathing exercises here. So let's make 2 fists with our hands. Let's bring the fists underneath the navel. On the inhale, we're going to trace a line from the navel through the heart. On the exhale, we're going to spin the palms up as we open up the base of the throat. Exhale. And let's do 6 of these. Inhaling. Exhaling. Let that exhale spill out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more like this. Inhaling. Exhale. 1. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then hands by our side. Exhaling on the inhale, we're going to turn sideways. We're going to push 1 hand up, 1 hand down. Looks like this. So inhale to prepare. Exhale. And on the inhale, turning one way, 1 hand up, 1 hand down. Exhaling through center. Inhaling the other way. Now let's do 6 of these. Two more each way. One more each side. And then back to center. Do 1 more breath exercise before we work another balance sequence. So we're going to turn to one side. As we inhale, we're going to push 1 hand out and draw the other hand back. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. And then on the inhale, we turn to one side. Exhaling through center and finding your other side. Inhale. And let's do 6 more. Halfway done. Couple more each way. One more each side. And then back to center. Let's jump it in, thin like a pin. And let's play with our tree pose. As hand finds the hip, let's angle the right toes out just a tad. We can find our kickstand tree. We can find our calf tree. Maybe we'll reach down to find our thigh tree. From here, hands come back to the hips. We can open up that hip a little bit. We can bring hands to heart. We can stretch our hands high to the sky. From here, arms out to the side, the palms face up. I'll invite you to take a little twist towards that bent front leg. Inhaling through center and twisting the other way. And let's do a couple more each way. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then back to center as we bring hands to hips. We can swing this thigh front without leaning back, going long. Either keeping hands on hips or we can stretch those hands out. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then hands come back to the hips as we, again, find that cross step. Soften the knees, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, folding and holding. And as we hold the shape, circling those hips. Now taking
those hip circles the other way. Now coming back center, let's carefully unwind the legs as we find our low lunge facing front. Taking our lunge longer and longer for more stretch in your legs. And then walking your hands inside your feet as you make the feet parallel. Heels can angle out just a tad. Toes angle in just a tad. Take a breath to lift chin and tail. And then folding and holding as you draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips. Release and relax the neck. Super, super heavy on the head. As we hold this shape, challenging your balance as you rock your body weight front to back. And then finding your center of balance, 3 or 4 fingers below the navel. It's a glowing ball of energy in the very center of yourself. From that place, stepping on the floor harder, lifting the hips higher, and folding a little deeper. In our wide angle forward fold, I'll invite you to walk your hands to the back of your mat. Left hand outside left foot. Right hand catches the outside of the shin. 2 straight legs as we look under that. Now adding on as we bend that far leg, that front leg deeply, pushing into that near foot harder. Straightening far leg, bending near leg as we push into that far foot harder. 2 straight legs, releasing the shin, walking the hands through center. Now right hand outside, right foot, left hand catches the outside of the shin. 2 straight legs as we look under that armpit. Now adding on as we bend that far leg, pushing it into your foot harder. Straightening far leg, bending near leg as we push into that far foot harder. 2 straight legs, keeping the hands front as we lift up onto the toes. We walk ourselves back to low lunge facing front, grounding front heel, keeping back heel lifted as we move towards high crescent lunge. Finding your balance as you bring hands to hips. And then stretching those hands high to the sky. From here, let's work with our shoulders a little bit. As we elevate the shoulders up to the ears. On the exhale, just let them drop. Couple more times. Inhale. And just let it drop. One more time. Inhale up. On the exhale, just let it drop. From here, let's straighten the front leg, breathing in. And then breathing out as we bend the front leg. Coming back to low lunge. And from low lunge back to down dog as you roll. Deep full breaths. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, look in between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find one. Exhaling, folding, and let's widen our stance. Keeping the hands low as we walk our hands to one side, stretching far hip towards back. Now walking hands through center and finding your second side as you stretch other hip to the back wall. Now coming back center, a tuck of the chin, either bringing hands onto the thighs or letting the arms hang free as we masterfully roll ourselves up. Nice. From here, let's step or jump our feet in. Let's find 2 hands high in the air. Left hand catches left wrist. Let's cross left foot over right. And then taking a side bend to the left. Holding it for a couple of breaths, breathing into those ribs. Letting your inhale bring you through center. Let's take a side bend to the right. Letting your inhale bring you through center, hands by our side as we uncross the legs. 2 hands high in the air, now left or right catches left as we cross right foot over. And we'll take a little side bend to the right.
Now letting your inhale bring you through center and taking a little side bend to the left. Letting your inhale bring you through center, hands by your side. As we uncross the leg, I'll suggest give it a shake. And then let's move towards that tree sequence on our second side. As we shift, so we can angle those left toes out just a tad to give our hips a little bit of room to work. We can find either our kickstand tree. We could find our calf tree. We could reach down and bring the foot onto the thigh or our thigh tree. We can open up that hip, either keeping hands on hips or hands on the heart. Either keeping hands here or stretching hands high. From here, let's bring our arms out to the side, palms facing up. Taking a little twist towards that bent front leg. Inhaling through center and twisting it the other way. A couple more times, inhale and exhale. One more each way. And then back to center. As we bring hands to hips, we can swing this thigh front, lifting the thigh, leaning a little bit forward as we go long for that leg. Either keeping hands on hips or stretching hands high. From here, we can bring hands back to the hips as we find a cross step. And then lowering our center of balance, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath. And then folding and holding. Relaxed neck, heavy head as you circle those hips. Any of them. And then taking, when you're ready, taking those hip circles the other way. Let it feel good. Let it be all about your hips. Coming back to center, carefully unwinding the legs as we step that front foot back for our low lunge. In our low lunge, going longer and longer, and then moving towards crescent lunge prep, eventually high crescent lunge. As we bring our hands to our hips. Once you have your balance, stretching those hands high. And again, with the breath, we can elevate the shoulders on the exhale. Just a couple more times. One more time. From this place, we can straighten the front leg, inhaling. And then on the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to find length as you look up. And then folding and finding your down dog. As you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. From down dog, I'll invite you to find a child's pose. As we land the knees on down, I'll suggest arms in extension as we settle the sits bones back towards our heels. From here, keeping hips and heels just as they are as we walk our hands to one side, stretching far hip to far hip. Now walking hands through center and finding your second side, stretching other hip to other hip. From here, let's come back center and find a figure four shape. From here, let's work the cat dog stretch. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. Exhaling, tucking tail, tucking toes, tucking chin as we round it in. A couple more times like this. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it in. One more time. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Let's throw child's pose into the mix. Breathing in, lifting it up. And then big toes touch. We round the spine. Sits bones back towards the heels. Two more times like this. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Adding side to side. Breathing in, lifting it up. And then drawing it back towards one heel. Inhaling, lifting it up. And then finding that other. Two more times each way, breathing in.
Breathing out, drawing it back. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. One more each side, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Throwing a figure 8 into the mix, breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Keep the hips low. Find that other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and back to first heel. 2 more times this direction, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Now let's take that figure 8 the other way, up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and back to second heel. 2 more times this way, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. And then back to an all-fours position, feet hip-width apart. I invite you to walk the hands just a little bit front. And we'll get to our down dog with the cat dog stretch. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. And then tucking the toes, rounding the spine, tailbone high, high, high. And as you find neutral spine, pushing into the hands as you stretch those hips. Again, as we hold this down dog like we did way back when, I'll invite you to walk the dog side to side, bending one leg deeply as you stretch long to that opposite heel. Yeah. Let it feel good, let it feel right. And then from this place of relative movement, coming back towards stillness. Despite relative stillness, there's still a lot going on. We're breathing, our hearts are beating, our minds are moving. I'm trying to find a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath. Hail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find life. On the exhale, folding and holding as we widen our base. And then bending the knees a bunch as we walk our hands to one side, stretching forward hip towards the back. Now walking hands through center and finding that second side. Coming back center, either using the thighs for the assist or letting the arms hang long, lots of core engagement as we masterfully stack our vertebrae. Awesome. And then we can jump it in thin like a pin. Arms up and over the head. Left catches right as we cross right over left. And we take a little side bend to the left. Letting your inhale bring you through center, and we'll take a side bend to the right. Coming back center, hands by our side as we unwind the legs. Arms up and over the head, this time right catches left as we cross left over right. And we'll take a little side bend to the right. Letting your inhale bring you through center, finding that side bend to the left. And then coming back center, hands by our side as we unwind the legs. And I'll allow you to bring hands to heart, either keeping that light press of the palms or adding isometric engagement. So we're at 6:15 now. If standing poses are your thing, and I love standing poses, and you have something else to do, certainly feeling free to say namaste and get to whatever it is that's on your schedule. Those of you that like to stay for another 15 minutes, we'll get down to the ground, we'll do some seated poses, and I'll cue a Shavasana. You guys have to stay.
No, it's not Star Trek.
Right on. Actually, if you guys want to be,
No,
you can.
we live here
You go right.
and we love this.
Big
Excellent.
meetings for unemployment.
From here, those of you that are staying, let's step or jump our feet wide like a house. Let's jump it in thin like a pin. Wide like a house, thin like a pin. Let's go faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then wide like a house And we'll get to our half squat. As we bring hands to hips, we angle the feet out, and we rock it into our squat. Half squat, we can bring knees over heels as we bring elbows to the inner thighs. I don't want you to keep rocking it from side to side, just getting into those hips. Somebody's practicing upstairs. I can hear the jumps.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Miss Kathy.
So obviously there's a little bit of delay. We can see the delay is about 3 seconds. Okay. Now we're going to go down into full squat. As we drop it on down, we can bring hands into the heart. Weight collects towards the heels. A little bit of a balance challenge here. From this place, let's bring our hands behind ourselves and let's land our backside slightly. From here, let's just keep it loose. Let's give it a shake. And let's find legs. Let's see where you can see it. So the heels are apart. The knees are bent. We're going to move towards a tortoise pose here. So the idea is I'm going to arms out to the side, shoulders nice and wide. And I'm going to feed my arms underneath my legs. I'm going to lead with the heart. I want to hinge at the hips as much as I can. And then I can let the spine round as I relax the shoulders. Holding this tortoise for a few breaths. With every breath, trying to let those groins soften as we sink into the floor. There's a mantra associated with this pose. And it goes like this. I go deep within to find all that I need. And you might say that to yourselves or not, really up to you. I go deep within to find all that I need. From the tortoise pose, let's tuck the chin, let's unfeed our arms under those legs. And then I'll invite you to lift the heels using your peace sign fingers to catch your big toes. From here, we can start to balance on our tailbones. This might be where you go. Some of y'all might lengthen through those legs. From here, if you're working on a carpeted surface, a little bit of a safety feature there. We can plump the calves and flex the feet. So we're going to land the calves before we land the heels. It looks like this. Awesome, guys. From here, let's find a sundial to each side. So let's go down to the forearm. Left forearm comes inside. You might take those peace sign, not the peace sign fingers, but they're kind of peace sign fingers. These two fingers here, and you catch the far side of the Achilles tendon. If you're not there, just feel free to work floor, or you could even just work the limb. From here, we can stretch other hand high, and we want to reach for that big toe. We don't want to collapse the pose forward. We want to try to keep a nice openness across the front of the heart. If you can catch the big toe and keep that, go for it. Otherwise, just stay right here. Let's breathe into our ribs. Now letting your inhale bring you through center. We'll find that pose the second side. Again, you can use these two fingers here. Maybe you catch the outside of the tendon. If you don't quite go there, no big deal. You could use the floor, you could use the leg. So finding a place for you to work. We lift that other hand high. We reach for the big toe, and we want to try to keep a nice openness to the shape. We want to find that twist. So if you're working here, no big deal. If you catch the big toe and can keep that openness, go for it. Again, always making wise choices for ourselves. All of our bodies are different. Even from day to day, our own body can change in terms of where it wants to go, where it needs to go. And then letting your inhale bring you on up. Let's come back to this pose here as we walk the heels in. Those peace sign fingers can catch the big toes. And again, we can balance on our tailbone. How you guys? Would you guys have enough room to roll backwards? We did it the other night.
Yeah.
You guys have enough room? Yeah. So big breath in. Feel free to stay right here. Feel free to stay here. Feel free to go to lots of places. I'm going to cue a little somersault, not a somersault, but a backwards roll. So ready?
And then we roll it on up. Let's do that a few times.
I can't get back up.
Inhale. Inhale to prepare.
I'm ready.
Exhale. On the inhale, roll it up. Exhale it back. Inhale, roll it back. Exhale it up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Whoa. Inhale back. Exhale up. My shoulders are sunburned. I can feel it. Inhale back. Exhale up. Let's do one more. Inhale back. Exhale up. And let's find a butterfly in the air. Let's land our butterfly. Hands catch the ankles, or maybe the thumbs by the insoles of the feet. Take a breath to sit tall, leading with the heart, trying to keep your neutral spine as long as you can. And depending on where your back is tonight, either keeping neutral spine or letting the spine round as you relax the shoulders and heavy them. Another great place with every exhale, just let those groins soften as you settle into the floor. Now a tuck of the chin as we bring it on up. And let's find a half butterfly each side. Let's straighten the left leg. Let's bring right foot onto the thumb. Turning and facing that left leg, leading with the heart, neutral spine, neutral spine, neutral spine. And either keeping neutral spine or letting the spine round as we relax the shoulders and heavy leg. Now a tuck of the chin as we bring it on up. We can keep this knee joint closed as we bring the leg center, and then flexing the foot to engage the muscles around the leg. As we straighten out, we give that knee a little love, a little therapy. And then we'll find our half butterfly on our second side as we bring left foot onto the right thigh. Turning and facing that straight front leg, neutral spine, neutral spine, neutral spine. And then letting it round as we take 2 or 3 long, slow breaths into that left hip. From here, a tuck of the chin as we walk ourselves back in. Keeping this knee joint closed as we bring the knee center, and then flexing the foot as we straighten the leg. And then I'll invite you to give that knee a little love and consideration. So I'm going to cue a Shavasana. I'll be getting some feedback if people like to have the Shavasana as part of the class. So this will be a relatively short Shavasana. If I'm just working with myself, I might take 10 or 12 minutes for my Shavasana. This will be about 2 or 3 minutes. But I'll invite you guys to find length in your spine as we lay ourselves down. So we can start from tall spine or neutral spine back of the head in line with the sacrum. From here we can find C-spine as we tuck tail and chin. And we slowly roll ourselves down, vertebrae by vertebrae. When we get down, I'll invite you to bring arms by the ears, full body stretch as we point fingers and toes. And on the exhale, I'll invite you to flex hands and feet. A couple more times like this. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. And then I'll invite you to sweep your hands by your side, flattening the shoulders, just scoot the head back. And whatever else feels right and good for you tonight. Let everything be super heavy. Releasing the tip of the tongue from the roof of the mouth, tip of the tongue. Now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. I'm going to ring the yoga bells 3 times, just noticing when the sound starts, and following it all the way through to the end. I'll invite you to move your breath before you move your minds before you move your breath or your body. So bring your attention back to your mind, just watching as your thoughts flow in, as your thoughts flow out. And expanding that awareness to incorporate your breath, just watching as your breath flows in, and as your breath flows out. Now shaping the breath as you deepen your inhalation. And I'll invite you to find an even longer, slower exhalation as we move towards a more relaxing breath, a more languorous breath. Long, smooth breaths. Smoother, longer, slower breaths. Now wiggling fingers and toes as we invite energy into our bodies. Now circling wrists and ankles. We invite that energy in towards center. I'll invite you to draw one knee at a time in towards your heart as your hands catch your shins. And then using your thighs to massage your belly as you gently lift and lower your low back and hips. Keeping your knees close in. Stretching long to the right arm as you roll onto one side, letting your arms serve as a cushion for your head as we take a long, slow breath in through the nose. And let it spill out through the mouth. Breath in through the nose. Letting it slip out through pursed lips, almost like you're whistling. And then breathing in through the nose. And out through the nose, yoga style. Neck relaxed, face soft. As we press up to claim a cross-legged sit. I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with the hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin. Ending our practice as we started, just watching as our breath flows out. And as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your hearts and bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. Namaste. And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for practicing with us, and we'll see you real soon.
More like namaste.
Have a nice day.
Nah.